We've been in the pews, we've been behind the pulpits, and now we're just trying to stay rooted in grace. If you love Jesus but don't always know where you fit, you're not alone. Welcome to the Two Kids in a Pew podcast.
Well, welcome back to Two Kids in a Pew. This is episode 4. What is the 4 for? Forgiveness. That's what we're going to be talking about today.
And today we're going to be super cheesy about everything.
Exactly. It's going to be super cheesy. I know I had a lot
For
of
life.
questions. Yeah. I had a lot of questions the last episode, though. Why was my tongue blue?
I did see that. Why'd your tongue blue? Did you eat something?
No, so Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I usually take a supplement, and it's a liquid supplement. It's called, what's it called? Methylene Blue.
Okay, not meth.
Yeah, not meth. Not that.
No.
It's called Methylene Blue, but it gives you like boost of energy and, know, overall, just it's better than caffeine. There's no crash and stuff like that. So.
Better than me drinking too.
Yeah, and I usually take it in the morning, and I didn't realize it was that blue, until we got down here and then we watched it on the camera. So it was pretty blue.
And it's like,
Looked like I made out with Smurf.
I'm blue. Da-ba-dee,
Yeah,
da.
that was a good one.
It just is what it is.
It is. But that's why my tongue was blue, if you're curious.
He wasn't trying to match the backdrop.
Yeah, not at all. But yeah, how was your week this week?
Week's been good. It's been a slow week. Nothing crazy has happened again in my life. My one daughter's been off from gymnastics, so it's been nice not having to drive around
There you go.
100 miles that week. So that's been nice. And nothing to write home about. What about you? Anything?
I mean, we live in 2025. You think we'd be able to like beam ourselves to places now, right?
That'd be cool.
Like the Jetsons. It's like, all right.
Didn't the Jetsons wasn't it supposed to happen? Like the Jetsons took place in like 2019 or something?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up, but
Yeah.
I think you're right. It was supposed
Not
to be
even close.
this century that we're in, but
Not even close.
I mean, technology is getting crazy. I'll tell you that. I saw a guy literally driving a, what do they call them? Like those RC style copters, but it looked like a 4-wheeler bike that he's sitting, and there was like 4 copter rotors around it.
Jeez.
Like growing up as a kid, I remember we get those chintzy, RC things. Take 6 hours to charge and 15 minutes worth of play.
Right.
Bro, can you imagine me sitting up there? It's like low battery. What?
No warning.
I don't think I'll be trying to buy one of those anytime soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would scare the crap out of me, man.
Those batteries are different than they were back then. Like
That is true.
I had a drone once, and that thing would fly for 45 minutes,
Really?
and I could go almost 12 miles.
Well, I would probably only chance flying it for 20 and then coming back down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I only went like there and back.
Right. Yeah, it's been super busy with me. I wish we could just switch out because I wanted. I was telling you earlier, I'd love to have a day where I could just be lazy one day.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's just same with us. Got back from vacation. Vacation was fun. Immediately had girls volleyball. So both of my girls are in volleyball. I don't know crap about volleyball.
Yeah.
But it was like, hey, we need a line judge. We need somebody to keep score. And I'm like, dude, I haven't even seen volleyball being played since like high school. But
Right.
sure, sign me up. I'll help you.
Yeah. So
that was fun. Very busy. I'll tell you what's interesting. And I'm not dogging my community when I say this. We had a bunch of schools. It was a event where we had to host it, so they needed a lot of volunteers for the several different. I don't know what do you call them, tracks or I don't know.
Are they districts?
Stations that they play in.
Oh yeah.
Nets. I don't know what they call that.
Yeah.
But there's different sections, so they needed a lot of volunteers, and it got even to the cleanup part of things. And dude, I don't care, dude. I'll touch whatever. I've always been that way. And dude, I'm picking up people's dip pouches, gum, stuff, and I could just see some of the parents in the crowd as I'm cleaning up. And I've got a dumpster like, ew, are you serious? You're doing that? Like I was getting judged so bad.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I'm like, whatever, dude, it's got to get done.
Yeah.
But you really see like, I love watching people's faces and how they react to how I just handle the situation.
Well, I mean, and not to jump like right away into the Bible, but we're called to serve.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're here to do.
Yeah. But you could see people's faces like, that's not my job. I'm glad it's your job. Type,
Right.
And it is what it is. But I enjoyed it. It was a blessing for me to just watch these young kids who've never played volleyball either, especially my youngest daughter. It's her first year. It's their first year.
And she's only 8.
Yeah.
They have 8-year-olds playing volleyball?
Yeah, dude. I'm
That's
surprised they can even get over a net. And that's usually what it is. You find out at that age, they're scoring against themselves. You know what I mean? Like every time they screw up, the other team gets a point.
Yeah.
So it's like, which team's going to mess up more? So the game gets over with quicker.
Not about who's better. It's who's the worst player.
Yeah. But they're making memories. They're having fun. And then we had our open teacher night, meeting the teachers and stuff with the kids. And that was exciting.
Mhm.
Got to hear about my oldest, the fruit that she, got to accept last year during the Ohio Coding Scholar Program. I guess the lieutenant governor was really excited during the Ohio State Fair, and they was plastering her pictures all over. So that was nice to see that, and I guess they got a really big grant too.
Yeah.
Because of how well she did. So I'm just happy seeing the Lord work in our kids' lives. I know you've told me stories too with your girls. I'm happy to see these kids that are excited about Jesus and they're taking it forth.
Right.
And you can see their fruit growing.
Yeah.
And what's really nice too is I've seen my kids humbly even give credit to the Lord, which is even better.
Yeah.
Because that right there is the witness. That is what you got to have to talk to people to show them this is why I'm different.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm being blessed. It's not anything I'm doing. It's not my will, but it's what the Lord's doing. So being ready and in the present to accept those blessings.
Yeah. And it goes along with serving. Like somebody, you're like, why the heck's that guy picking up like dip pouches? And
Yeah, it was
that's
pretty
gross. But like what it's doing is you're not trying to draw attention to yourself, but it is. And so what's happening is now they're going to be like, why? Why is that guy doing that? And so eventually over time, yeah, it's my opportunity to speak life or to talk about God.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to get done.
Yeah.
Right. I'll do it if it's got to get done. But that was it was very interesting, like I said, because I haven't seen a volleyball game in 20 years.
Yeah.
And so we had fun with that. And then, like I said, hearing how the teachers were ready to see the kids, like it was exciting because usually teachers are like, oh no.
Yeah.
Here we go. That's why I wore this shirt. I even wore this to the parent teacher get together.
Hang in there, it gets worse.
Yeah, hang in there, it gets worse, man. And the one teacher's like, I love your optimism. I'm like, hey, I've been around the block. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen a thing or two. We're like Farmers Insurance. Seen a thing or two. You know a thing or two.
Yep.
But yeah, it was fun, man. It was really fun.
Yeah. So one of the things that I wanted to do before we, jump right into our episode, I want to play a little game. If it may completely flop. We'll have to see. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to count to 3, and on 3, we're going to say a word, like an object or whatever it is. And then we're going to try to come together within 4 chances to say the same word.
Okay.
And I've seen this done and it does work, but we're going to see how we do. So,
okay.
Think of a word.
Think of a word. Okay.
Or a thing, an object, or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. You got it?
Yeah.
All right. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Apple
banana.
pie.
Apple pie and banana.
Yeah.
Ooh, where can we go with this? Now our goal is to try to get closer to saying the same thing. Okay.
I don't know where you're going to go with that. I'm trying to think. So, sure. Let's try it.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Fruit.
We did it 2 tries. Let's go. That was awesome.
Right.
I promise that was not playing. That was pretty good. I was going to say fruit pie, but I'm like, fruit pie?
Well, okay, yeah.
I don't know how we did that.
I owe it.
That was pretty impressive.
That's pretty good.
Because to be completely transparent, because that's what we are here, we tried that before we got all the recording stuff set up, and it was like, he was over there and I was over there.
Yeah.
So, but that was pretty good. I'm impressed.
We're getting better.
Yeah. And so like the purpose of that is to see like if our brains are on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
And apparently 5 minutes ago they weren't.
Yeah.
But now they are.
I don't think our brains are, I think there's moments where they're on the same wavelength, but I don't think it's ever like straight on the same wavelength, which is nice. Cause I was joking with you. I told you, I said, I feel like you're a left brain on the right brain sometimes. And if we got to make one solid brain, to get the whole message out, I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
The Lord wants individualities.
Yep.
He wants that personal relationship like we've talked about in episodes before. Mm-hmm. And just because you're an individual doesn't mean you're a lone wolf either. I know we've talked about that. You got to be yourself and who the Lord wants you to be as well.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you giving me the credit for having at least a half a brain.
Oh.
Because I wouldn't,
I kind of credited myself there too. So,
Go us. Huntington Learning Center paid off.
Oh, my bad. I was laughing so hard. Yeah, no, that's a real thing. I'll do a little testimony for that one.
Yeah.
But I know when I was in school, man, like I was one of those, they just kind of passed through. And it got to the point where I couldn't read when I got to high school. So my parents did have to spend some money to take me to a private learning center and get me caught up in order for me to graduate. And that sucked as a kid, man. Who likes summer school, you know?
No.
And
that Huntington, wow, man, it's a good thing.
it is. It's a good thing.
I hated it.
Yeah, I wish I could have got the proper education at the school like I should have gotten,
Mhm.
but unfortunately, it is what it is.
Yeah. So let's get into our topic here today. Is one of the things that I think that we both had issues. Not, I don't say issues. We both have had to deal with, had to grow through, and that's forgiving.
Yeah.
Is there something in your life that you can think of where you're like, man, that was a very difficult time or a very difficult thing for, to forgive?
That's a good question. Usually it's myself. I have to forgive myself.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. My expectations is usually higher.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I've even got to forgive God. And it sounds funny when you say, like, what do you mean forgive God? What did God do? And it's like, well, God didn't do what I wanted him to do. Well, what I wanted him to do was selfish.
Right.
So, it's more or less me saying, I'm sorry, Lord, forgive me, right? Because I wasn't even on the same playing field.
Mm-hmm.
Because unforgiveness will lead to just bitterness.
Mm.
It'll leave you stuck in the past. It'll leave you stuck in that scenario that happened however long ago. And at that point, you're focused on the past when God's trying to get you into a better future. So you're really locking yourself in.
Right.
And you have to be able to forgive yourself too. When you ask God for forgiveness, it says he casts it, he casts your sin as far as the east is from the west. So don't go back to it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think about it anymore. Let go and let God and move on. I know that's hard to do, but when you do that, it gets a lot easier with your walk because now you're starting to focus on your future. And when you don't do that, you're stuck in a rut.
Yeah, so I know forgiveness is a tough thing, but if we don't forgive, then we're going to be chained to the past. And when we're chained to the past, you can't, it's like you're stuck. You can't move forward in those things.
Yeah.
And for me personally, my personality is that, like, I forgive probably too easy sometimes.
Yeah.
Almost to a fault where, like, I'll go back to that person, even though I know they just did me wrong. I'll be like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's do it again. You did me wrong. All right, no matter. Let's do it again. But sometimes we need to learn that, like, there's people that are in our circle that don't belong in our circle. And yes, we need to forgive them. But if that person keeps over and over and over, sometimes we need to remove people from our circle.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean you got to remove them forever.
Right.
Yeah. If you need to take a break for somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to take a break from somebody because, they're dealing with some things and you're maybe not seeing eye to eye as friends. And, it just showing you God's got to work on them too.
Right.
And the other crazy part is too, if you don't forgive somebody, well, let me start over. How do you forgive somebody?
For me, so it's
how many times are you supposed to forgive somebody?
70 times 70.
So yeah, 70 times 7.
Yeah, 70 times 7. Yeah.
So it's a lot.
Yeah.
And the reason why you have to forgive them is you're tearing down a wall that you've already created.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow that wall to stay there, then you're allowing the enemy to make camp.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're allowing them to make camp, it's going to be easier to take you out.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I always like looking at things from like a military standpoint.
And unforgiveness, it builds walls, but forgiveness, it builds bridges.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. That is really good. But yeah, if you can't forgive somebody, how's Christ going to forgive you?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't forgive yourself,
mm-hmm.
how's Christ going to forgive you?
Right. Yeah.
Because you're the one that's lingering
in
the past.
And I think about, like, me forgiving others. Like, if Christ, died on a cross for me and all the junk, all the filth that I've done in my life, like, if he's forgiven me, if somebody does me wrong, like, I should be like jumping for joy and jumping on the opportunity to forgive somebody.
Yeah.
Because like, if he can forgive me for everything that I've done, I should be able to forgive that person for whatever that small inkling of a thing that they did.
And we've already touched base a little bit of this on church hurt as well. But when somebody does you wrong, this is what I tell my kids. It's not you they're doing wrong. It's the light in you. It's the Jesus that they're seeing.
Right.
It's their demons they're battling. You know, it's the jealousy demons that they're battling. It's the envious demons that they're battling. They have not learned how to control that.
Right.
And if you take it personal, then yeah, you're going to have unforgiveness in your heart. But if you look at it, it's like, dude, it's not me. It's God they're coming against. That's Jesus they're coming against. Tyler, I've had things happen in my life where I knew I wasn't in the wrong. And I hate to be the kind of person that's like, I'll follow my sword if I have to. I know I'm not wrong. This is biblically sound. But I know my audience isn't willing to accept the truth.
Yeah.
For instance, we had in the middle of February, this past February, my kid's sick home from school. And all of a sudden I'm hearing somebody outside our house. I'm like, what was the noise? What's going on? I go out, it's our utility department, turning my utilities off. What the crap is this all about?
Yeah.
And the guy goes, I've got a work order here saying we need to shut your power off. In the middle of February, there's snow coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
My kid's sick inside. Why? Says here, you didn't pay your bill. And I started laughing. I'm like, you know, and we've talked about that before. I don't like paying bills, but I pay the necessary bills. You know what I mean? And so immediately I called the wife. They wouldn't stop or nothing. They just turned it off. So I called the wife. It's like, hey, we're caught up on the bills, right? I'm trying to log in. You know, she's like, yeah, we're caught. We paid everything. I was like, well, what's going on? I go down to the utility department to talk to them, and I'm immediately getting attitude from a woman, like it's my fault. And not only is she coming off as if it's my fault, but I'm going to pay the service fee to have my power turned back on. They shouldn't even been turned off.
Jeez.
You know, so it's like those days I want to strangle somebody.
Yeah.
It's like, I know I'm right, and you're the one that's messing up here, dude.
Yeah.
That was coming out. And instead of looking at it in a different light, I should have been like, there's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why I need to talk to this woman. There's a reason why this woman's talking to me like this.
Yeah.
Rather than get upset. And I didn't get upset with a woman. I stayed quiet. I was like, Lord, you better help me. You better help me. Because I'm thinking in my mind, dude, I only let my wife talk to me the way this woman's talking to me. Dude, this woman's talking to me like I'm in the military still.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, you better help her, Lord. You better help me, Lord, you know, seeing red.
Yeah.
But no, after all that was said and done, I ended up getting an apology from the same woman.
Yeah.
And she was probably going through a bad day. I don't know.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if I wanted to give forgiveness to that woman, I would have let that sit there and eat at me and eat at me and eat at me. And I know we've talked about that before, even in your thoughts with isolation. If you have your thoughts isolated, it's going to be so much easier for him just to get stacked on more thoughts and more thoughts. It just keeps getting stacked and stacked and stacked until the next thing you know, you're bitter. And when you're bitter, it's not better.
No.
It's horrible.
Right.
So that's why we have to forgive and forget. Push past whatever it was that, you know, you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy. It really isn't. It's baby steps like we've talked about before. You have to take those baby steps.
And bitterness is a weight that you weren't meant to carry.
Yeah.
And when we carry that, it weighs on us and it weighs on us and it weighs. And then you end up becoming the grumpy old man.
Yeah.
And you're the person that just snaps at anybody or anything or what have you.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, you say like, how do we forgive? And I think it is a decision to say, hey, I forgive you. But also like, we can't just forget what happened. Like, I know like if we could forget it, sweet, awesome.
Yeah.
But I believe, and this is just me personally, we shouldn't forget, because if somebody does us wrong, we can learn from that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
And so then we learn from whatever those the wrongdoing was, so we know how to handle that situation.
You keep a watchful eye. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
You know, let's say, you know, somebody did you wrong, right? And you know, you did forgive them. Doesn't mean necessarily it's like your kids, man. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to give them some more rope, right? I give my kids enough rope to hang themselves. When they hang themselves, it's like, all right, let's start over. Let's figure this
Right.
out. But same thing with my friends too, man. Like there's days I know when my friends know that I'm annoying, he's just, I can't keep up with his energy. I get that because I've said that about people before in my past when it's like, I don't understand, but it's like the Lord showed me it's my joy that's giving them the energy. It's my joy that's giving them the happiness,
Right.
and some people aren't ready for that. Some people don't see that. So, when you are dealing with those people and they treat you wrong, you want to set back. Number one, pray for them.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, give them some time. You know what I mean? Maybe you are being a little annoying.
Yeah.
And then go back with love and grace, like the Lord would do.
Yeah.
And usually, everything gets better at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the same situation, if they hurt you a specific way, don't open your heart back that way again.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of close it off.
Yeah. I know I was working with some teenagers once, and there was this one teen, and I'm not going to mention names or anything, but she dealt with a lot of hurt from her father, and terrible relationship. I'm not going to go into all the details for her sake, but he was not in the picture anymore, and so like she was removed from him for years, and she had this issue of letting go of what he had done to her and for forgiving him for it. And so like after multiple, counseling sessions and talking with her, one of the things that helped her, and I say this to maybe it'll help somebody that's listening, is that like what I had her do is write a letter to him, and that all the things that it was that messed with her through her life, that formed her into this person that she is, and just write it out. And I told her, I said, listen, you don't have to send this letter.
Yeah.
You write it. And if you feel led to send it, then send it. But at least you have it all written out. And then if you don't send it, tear it up, rip it up, whatever it is, burn it.
Yeah.
That's you letting go. And I can speak now, because this has been years ago, that when she did this, she did end up sending the letter to this guy. It wasn't received well, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because what she had done in that moment with sending that letter is
you put all your stress on them.
Yes, she let it go. And because that's one of the main things is forgiveness.
Well, let me rephrase that. You don't put all your stress and worries on them. But writing it out, you've given it to God.
Yes.
And you've also said, hey, let your other person know I have an issue. I'm struggling. It's like we talked about, with our spouses, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you talk openly with your spouse, when you open that line of communication, it leaves out, or it help me, Lord. It takes away the opportunities. That's the word. It takes away the opportunities for the devil and his imps to come in and place these seeds of whatever.
Yeah. And so when she sent that letter, it's not saying, what it is saying, I forgive you, but forgiveness isn't for that person.
Yeah.
Forgiveness was for her.
Exactly.
Because she has been carrying this for so long that now it's having this effect, or not now, but at that point it was having an effect negatively on her life. And so when she says, I'm done, I'm going to forgive, it's over, it's done with.
Yeah.
Now, since that point, watching her and her relationship with God and her what she's done with that, she has blossomed into a beautiful young woman that serves God. And it's amazing to see how God is using her because of her willingness to say, I forgive.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of Christians with unforgiveness going to hell. Think about that.
Yeah.
If you can't forgive your fellow brother or sister, of something, Lord's not going to forgive you what you've done.
Right.
What makes you any different than them?
Yeah.
What makes you the person that's the judge? Because think about this. You're not just the judge. You're the judge, jury, and the executioner. You're writing them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
you like it if Christ written you off?
Yeah. You did this wrong. You're done. I'm cutting you. You're done.
Yeah.
Go to wherever. And that's not how we should always. I mean, maybe in our flesh, that's how we act.
Yeah.
We at some point we have to make the conscious decision in our life, in our mind, to say, no, I'm not gonna let this.
And I'll be honest with you, I'm so pressed with my life and my walk with the Lord right now. If I don't feel like I have any of it in my life. And a lot of people that are watching, if I've ever hurt you or offended you or any way, or I'm apologize right now. I'm sorry.
So we talked about a lot, like with forgiving others, but I think sometimes we either we pass over it quickly or we don't even talk about it. But like forgiving ourselves,
Oh yeah.
for me, that's a big one. Like, there was a time where I had done something in my later, like right after high school, and every night I would pray, God, please forgive me for X, Y, and Z. God, please forgive me for X, Y, and Z. Every night I would do that. And the Bible's clear. I don't have to ask for forgiveness more than one time.
Right.
I don't have to do 100 Hail Marys, right?
Yep.
God, forgive me of X, Y, and Z. God's forgot about it. It's done.
You
But-
ain't forgot about it.
Huh?
I said, you ain't forgot about it.
I haven't forgot about it.
But God's forgot about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But I heard somebody.
That's when you need to ask Lord, change my mind, change my heart.
Yes.
Continue to change my mind, change my heart.
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to that.
Right.
I gave it to you. I don't want to go back to it. Continue to drive me forward.
And that's not God putting that guilt on me. That's the devil.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
whispering into my
Yeah,
ear,
he's-
whispering in your ear.
And that's the thing. When the devil keeps reminding you about your past,
Yep.
remind him of his future.
Yeah. That's good.
Because, dude, you're going to hell. It was made for you and your imps.
Right.
It wasn't made for me.
Yeah, I actually heard this pastor say this once. He said, God help me make sure I say this correctly. It's when we don't forgive ourselves, it means that we're not putting our full faith in Jesus.
100%. Yeah. And you're breaking down your fellowship with Christ if you have unforgiveness in your heart.
Yeah.
You're breaking down not only your fellowship with Christ, you're breaking down your blessings. So
Mhm.
you wonder why you haven't been blessed yet. It's probably because you haven't got some unforgiveness in you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just something to pray about.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody out there, if you haven't been blessed with what the Lord's promised you, you're got unforgiveness spirit, but it's more than that. I mean, you have to soul search daily. We've got to crucify daily. We've talked about that before. And so with that being said, maybe you haven't checked that part off in your life. Think about that. Do some serious soul searching and praying. Lord, do I have anything unclean in my life? Any unforgiveness? Please take it away from me. Change my mind, change my heart about this scenario. And it will get easier, but you have to give it to him.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and hold it. And if you've already given it to him, like I said, you need to pray that the Lord will continue to renew your mind and your heart.
Mm-hmm. So I'm reminded of the story when Jesus and Peter come down from prayer, when they just had that supernatural experience, and they come down and the disciples are trying to heal somebody, and they say, Jesus, we can't heal this man, right? And I don't remember what it was exactly, but the guy comes over and he goes, Jesus, help me in my unbelief. Help me to believe.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's kind of what we need to, if you're struggling with forgiving yourself, God, I know you've forgiven me for whatever it is,
Right.
but help me in my unbelief.
Yeah.
Help me to forgive.
Help me let it go.
Help me to let it go. Help me to forgive what I'm holding on to.
Yeah.
Because what I'm holding on to is just going to hurt and weigh me down even more.
Go stifle your blessings.
Absolutely.
Stifle your relationship. Yeah.
So,
And it's more than just a relationship with Christ too. It'll stifle your marriage. It'll stifle your family.
Yeah.
It'll stifle your work.
right.
Exactly.
And please hear us out there. We're not saying that if you kill my family, I should forgive you and then let's be best friends.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I should forgive you, but let's not, you do you over there.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think I've talked about this publicly, but I had a cousin that he was killed. He was murdered.
Yeah.
And it was a very difficult thing for our family.
It was difficult for me. And he was like a cousin to me. I don't know if you know that.
And the young man that did this was one of his best friends. And he was a friend of mine. And when he did this, dealing with that has been so difficult. Now he's serving 2 life sentences behind bars because he did some bad stuff.
Well, and here's the crazy part too to think about, Tyler. He can ask Christ to forgive him for his sins and he's going to enter into the kingdom, but it's not going to save him from man's justice.
Right. Yeah. Our earthly punishment is different than our spiritual.
And I pray I pray the Lord reaches out to that kid, man, because I don't
Yeah.
want to see anybody's.
And so I say all that
Yeah.
because I don't know if he has access to anything in prison. I don't know. Maybe they
Right.
do. But I pray that if you hear this, I forgive you. You took something
Yeah.
from all of us, and it sucks. But I forgive you for killing my cousin. I love you. And I pray that you find Jesus through all of this. I've debated numerous times to reach out, to go to the prison. I don't know how all that would work, but
Right.
and this I don't even know why. I'm just rambling now, but
No, that's good.
but I want him to know that he's still loved, and then that just
Jesus
because
loves
he
us.
did wrong doesn't mean that he can't have this opportunity to live in heaven,
Yeah.
to have this eternal life. And man, I pray so hard that he finds God.
I do too.
I went down a whole nother rabbit trail that I wasn't even planning on or didn't even think about. But
I didn't think about that either, man. It's been a few years since we lost him.
yeah,
But yeah, I know what you mean, man. Because when that went down, when I heard about it, I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, how? You know, so young,
he's 23.
so young, man.
Mm-hmm.
Kid had the rest of his life ahead of him and everything. I miss him. He was a good kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I pray for that young man, and like we said, it's not going to save him from being in jail the rest of his life, but I'm hoping maybe I'd love to see the kid get saved and start a jail ministry for the Lord.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome to hear about.
When we forgive, we're declaring that whatever that is, it's not going to define who I am.
Yeah, no,
And
that's good.
and who I become.
And you set that up in, I think it was episode 1 or episode 2, but
Yeah.
It shouldn't define. Don't let something define you, especially some traumatic or horrible event of your life,
Right.
that was out of your control.
Yeah.
Don't let it define who you are.
Yeah.
The Lord sees you as somebody better than what you're defining yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So don't put yourself in a box either. I know we talked about that last week. It's kind of like dirty dancing, right? Nobody puts baby in a corner. Nobody puts Jesus in a corner.
Right.
But don't put yourself in a corner either.
Mhm. Yeah.
Be open for the Lord.
And we do that. We beat ourselves up.
Yeah. It's our expectations. We've talked about that too.
Right. What? And I don't know why we beat ourselves up. Probably because, like we said, our earthly, punishment is different than what our, spiritual punishment is. But I think it's like we think that we did this wrong and we deserve to be punished by it.
Right.
And you don't. Not from your mind sense.
Right.
And from the spiritual side of things. Like, sure, you may have done X, Y, and Z. But that doesn't define you. It can, once you have that, now you know I've learned from that, I can move forward, and I'm going to become a better person because of it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I heard a preacher talking about, and it kind of clicked, is that when Jesus came back from, after he had died and had this brutal death, did he have holes and wounds, or did he have scars? He had scars. So we all have wounds.
Yeah.
Right? But it's one thing to have wounds and it's one thing to have scars, because Jesus used his scars to show Thomas, doubting Thomas.
True.
He showed him to help Thomas in his unbelief.
It's like a good song, thankful for the scars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for the scars because without you, I wouldn't know who you are.
Right.
And I ain't worried about scars. I used to be. I'll be honest with you. When I first started having scars, either because of my motorcycle accident or because stuff happened when I was in the military, I used to think, ain't no woman going to want to be a part of a man that's got scars all over his body, like, that's not sexy,
Right.
Like, whatever. But that was my mind. And here I am beating myself up, whereas looking back now, dude, I think women love scars because it tells a story, number one. And number two, it shows that you're a fighter, man.
Right.
You didn't
For all
give
you
up.
fellows out there, that doesn't mean go get this big cut on purpose.
Yeah, don't get cut up on purpose. But no, it just, my perception on what I thought needed to be done, and it's just, why do we beat ourselves up like that?
Right.
For instance, I don't think my dad will mind me sharing this conversation, but we've been kind of restoring a little tractor, me and him having father and son project, and then my son, he's very mechanically sound, he's enjoying wrench turns, so we're all kind of three having fun putting this little tractor back together. When we went to chill a coffee, and on the way up there, like we knew we were going to get a parts tractor, but it was missing the whole front end, no wheels. And my dad's like, "How are we going to get this up on the trailer?" I was like, "Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out when we get there."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm really worried. I'm really worried. We don't have a forklift or anything. It's out in the middle of a field, and all this." I'm like, "Dad, we'll get it up there. Don't worry about it." Well, anyways, long story short, we finally got up there, and this guy already had this set up, ready to just push it up on.
Oh, wow.
And we got it up there, strapped, on the way back. And I looked at Dad and said, "And here you were worried about how we're going to get it up there."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Don't worry about it." So, and Dad started laughing. He's like, "No, you're right. We got it up there all right, But it just, and even me and Dad was talking, and Dad's like, "It just even shows you, even in my age, AJ, Lord's still, having me learn how to walk, faithfully with him and not worry about the small things."
Yeah.
Too many times we worry about the small things, in our life.
And the small things, most of the time, never even come to fruition.
That's true. Yeah. It's like, why do we do that to ourselves? But
yeah. One thing that I've always, learned over the years is like grace received should always become grace given.
That's true.
Because I've been given grace, I should give grace.
Yeah.
And I know we keep going back to this, but if somebody hurts me, I should give grace. But then I should, if I need to, you do you, boo.
Yeah. I saw something this week too on Facebook, and I shared it, and so I'll share it on here. But it reminded me of kind of the things that we've been talking about, and something that you're dealing with as well. What do we do when we're not hearing from the Lord? We play that waiting game that we've talked about. Well, what do waiters do?
They serve.
They serve.
Yeah.
So it's just something to think about, and if you're in that waiting pattern with the Lord right now, maybe he's calling you to serve in another capacity.
Yeah.
And so be praying like, "Lord, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that?" You know, and just let go and wait for that answer. And don't be surprised if you get something back very soon.
Yeah. Yeah. God will show up in the weird, crazy, why this particular moment in time now moments.
Oh yeah.
That's how God operates. And God is so cool that he'll come to you in your brokenness. He'll come to you in your unforgiveness, and he'll be there with you to walk through it with you.
Yep.
And so I know that over the last few weeks of us, doing these videos, you've had numerous people reach out to you. I've had a few people reach out to me, just telling us like how much of an encouragement that this is, even though like sometimes we get done, like you message me, go, "Hey, we got some good content." And I think my response back was, "Yeah, it's good, but I don't think we went as deep as we did on the other ones." But then what happens is people start reaching out, and like, just because we think that it's not having an impact, it is having an impact. So if you're out there and you're listening in any of these videos or audio, wherever you're listening or watching is hitting home and it has some kind of impact, do me a favor, just shoot us a message, shoot us a text.
Yeah, shoot a little text. I don't care. Some people say, "Oh, don't read the comments." I read the comments. I don't care. Like, you ain't going to upset me. You're going to offend me. Right. And I know you've said this before too. If you guys have any topics that, maybe it's impacting, your life right now, or, you're just, curious on some other topics that we've already brought up before on some of these other episodes, I got no problem going in detail. I'm a storyteller, man. I'll tell you the stories of my life, and even some of the stuff that we shared growing up as kids in church.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an open book. So please reach out in the comments. We would love it. It's almost like I told Tyler this week, I feel like we are digital disciples or digital pastors right now, because it's each week it's what do we want to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
And usually Tyler's like, "What do you want to talk about?" I'm praying right now, bro. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the Lord wants us to say.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that too. So even if it's just a friendly little comment, that's like, "Hey, this would be a good topic." We'll weigh in with things too, because it's always nice hearing from other believers, and
yeah, I know I told you, whenever you step into the public eye of ministry, if you will, we're all in ministry, but if you step into the public eye, that's when the devil fights you more.
Oh yeah.
And so just that quick text of, "Hey, that was a good episode, thank you," or "Hey, could you guys expand more on this?" It it encourages us, and it lets us know that even
Because I'm
though
gonna be honest, I don't give a crap about algorithms. I really
Right.
don't. I don't care if only 50 people see these videos.
Mhm.
You 50 are gonna get fed.
Yep. And
I-
that's 50
I
more
don't
than when
care.
we didn't have the video.
Exactly.
Game.
There's 50 more people that got
Yep.
fed than if we didn't even have this thing going. So I don't care if it blows up. I hope it never does because I don't want to get that famous.
Right.
But I do want to be a word of encouragement in this last hour that I believe that we are living in. And I will be that Paul Revere that tells you Jesus is coming. You better get right.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good way to end it. Jesus is coming. You better get right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. And we love you so much. And again, just reach out to us. Do all the different things. Subscribe, like, share. Share it to yourself. That's cheating, but do it. Yeah, anything?
We love you, but Jesus loves you more. If you don't have a place to go to church, I don't care where you go to church. Find a place of fellow believers and
Bible-believing churches.
Yeah, Bible-believing churches. None of this prosperity church crap that I'm seeing online.
That took a turn.
Well, I'm just saying, there's people that know how to read the scripture, and there's people that know how to twist the scripture. And I'm sick of seeing it.
Right.
You're crucifying my Christ again, and I'm not going to let it happen in my generation.
Amen.
But anyways, I love you guys. We love you guys.
Love
you
ya.
guys have a blessed week. We'll catch
See you next week.
time. Deuces.